You look so dumb right now. So it's part of the song, I know. How about a round of applause? That's it. Like, if it was on, maybe I could sing it. What's up? How you doing? Ray of Sunshines. I am your girl, Talisa Ray, wife style coach. We are reviewing Married at First Sight, season 12, episode number 8. Face to face. Me and you together. Listen, I'm having a little bit of trouble speaking. I have my retainers. Look at my teeth. No more braces. I may have to take this out. I may have to take this out, especially the top one. Just so I can have a decent conversation. Hold on, I'll be back. Okay, that's a lot better. If it's your first time visiting my channel, we review couple by couple, not scene by scene. And we're gonna start with Ryan and Clara because they ain't have shit going on. Evidently, it was not a lot for, you know, the producers to catch or capture of them. They had other scenes with other people, but we'll talk about that during that time. So Ryan and Clara, we get to see them in their house with the housewarming. Clara's friend caught the virus and were not able to attend the housewarming. My question was, you don't have no other friends? You only had the 2 friends? Or you only could go off that list? I understand that they probably had to be tested in order to, you know, to be on the show. And that might be when they found out that they had, you know, coronas. You know what I'm saying? So, I'm going to try and give her some leverage. But, yeah, so she asked that Haley and Brianna step in on their behalf. Like, they don't really know much about you. So, it's really a disservice. I guess he'll get to meet her people a little later. And all that I got from that was that Ryan's friend, whatever his name was like he's a little less spunky than Clara. You know, he's very more meticulous and calculated, more reserved, and that's and you know, as we know, Clara is a whole lot. She's all over the place. She made mention of not, you know, having seen him with his shirt off, you know, and earlier we had saw that she's sexually frustrated. She said that there are some things physical that are happening, but she doesn't understand if we can do those things, why can't we do other things? What things are they doing, y'all? Let me know down below in the comments. What are the things? I want to know the things that you think that they are doing. I mean, I have my own ideas of what they're doing, but those things, you got to have your shirt on. It can't be just cuddling and kissing, because she said if we could do those things, then I don't understand why we can't do the other thing. Since they didn't have much to talk about, let's just quickly go over the girls and guys out together. So we know Paige wasn't there and Virginia is at a wedding. So of course Chris wasn't with the fellas. A couple things that I picked up out of there, because we're not going to talk about a whole lot of that, because why? Unless it's something I missed and you want to talk about it, we can of course talk about it when we go live, which will not be today, which today is Friday. Because I didn't get this up before, and I like to have my review up before we do our lives. So maybe I'll try and squeeze it in sometime tomorrow or Sunday. We shall see. Okay, so Clara at this meetup, right? Clara talks about her and Ryan's first tiff over like Jello shots. Her theory about Jello shots and him not, you know, taking the offer from her best friends. So, you know, I mean, listen, I kind of have that kind of banter too. They ask you, do you want one? No, I don't want one. Do you want one? No, I don't want one. Do you want one? Fine, I'll take one. Where Ryan is a hard no, because we're all like, maybe I want one, maybe I don't. Jello shots creep up on you, you know, bump it, I'ma do it. Where for Ryan, it was a hard no, and he felt a way that her friends, you know, were pressuring him to have Jello shots. Like, he kind of retreated into himself. Later on, he apologized or whatever. But this is also when he says, you know, she's more of a trust everybody, and I'm more of a I can trust you as far as I can see you. Let me get to know you a little bit, and then we can talk about the trustworthy aspect of things. Listen, as a Virgo, I am very much so reserved, right? If I meet you for the first time, I am very observant. I'm watching the room. You don't really get the life of the party that I am if I don't know you well. Once I have a couple drinks, I might loosen up a little bit, but I'm gonna seem a little standoffish. And maybe, just maybe, that is how Ryan operates as well. Y'all let me know what you think down below in the comments about their little tiff. We know that he needs to have control though, right? Vincent said something that Eric was like, oh, you and Virginia would do well together, because Vincent was like, you know, I'm getting used to coming home and that there's somebody there, and you know, normally I want to come home, like if it's a rough day, and decompress and then, you know, have to interact. He said, but it's something that I have to get used to, that he has to adjust to not having any alone time. Listen, the devil is a lie. When you're married, you are allotted alone time. You can vocalize to your wife, I need time to compress or decompress when I get home, as she may need, you know what, and you guys have a whole nother room that maybe you can go and just meditate and take some deep breaths. I mean, listen, it's important that you get that alone time, because if you don't, you'll start feeling crowded. And I feel like he's more of an introvert, or maybe an ambivert than anything else. Ambivert, introvert and extrovert. I'm an ambivert. What else? This is when Clara actually shares that she's sexually frustrated and really wants to get it in, right? Where he takes it slow, but she can appreciate it because she normally is all in right and upfront, and then has her heart broken later. So she can appreciate the method to his madness. Jacob says his concern is that the roles will switch, because as Haley said, you know, she's starting to like him and she's giving it a shot. I still don't know where, right? But she's giving it a gallant effort. So, you know, is what I'm inferring. And he's saying, my fear is I'm going to be the one to switch out. I'm going to be the one to say no. Listen, any noise you hear in the background, it's my loud ass son on Fortnite or some kind of game, child. All the kids. All the kids. And he's got 2 earphones on, so any background noise, it's the boy. Okay, let's keep moving, because that was all we had on them. Let's talk Haley and Jacob, shall we? We see, listen, everybody needs a friend that is going to be honest with you about you. Okay, even when it doesn't feel good and it's uncomfortable, we need people that's going to be able to tell us the truth. And I feel like Lauren is that to Haley. She meets Lauren for brunch and tells Lauren about, you know, how she was pulling away, etc. And Lauren's like, okay, well, why? And she said, well, because of the differences in style, how he likes the 80s and the way that he dresses. And she said, okay, well, what else? Because all of this sounds superficial, very surface, very aesthetic, and that's it. Her friend also asks her, what are you going to do to make an effort? And Haley's response was, we need to communicate more. But her question wasn't about we, it was about you. What are you specifically going to do to put in effort, to show effort, to try, because you don't want to miss out on what could potentially be something good for you. She also was like, you know what, it's not just you that you have to think about. There are 2 hearts on the line. Now, I'm on the fence about this, okay? A little, and I'm gonna tell you why. Because I choose me, right? Every time I choose me, I win. So I have to choose me in my relationships. When relationships work, that's great. When they no longer hold value, or I don't hold value for them, you know what I'm saying? Why am I still here? Sometimes we hold on to stuff a little longer than we should, but not in this instance. In this instance, they both really, you know, he's saying he's all in, she's saying she's gonna try, so they both need to just give that good college try. Is that what it is? Like, I'm trying to find words, I can't find my words, because it's not just her, right? He's invested. And so, Haley, do your part. Haley, do your part. Don't just run because you're a runner. So we see them at the housewarming, okay? So big for me is aesthetic, how you set your stuff up. I'm gonna give it to Clara. she did a great job. Like, I don't think you should be eating, when you have people over, you should not be eating out of the containers unless they, you know, brought the containers, or y'all just went on the fly. Like, if you're hosting something, make it look nice, ladies, fellas. Make it look nice, appealing, welcoming, inviting. Make it, you know, aesthetically pleasing to the eye. I'm just saying, make it look like somebody wants to eat it. And I'm going to tell you that, why I say that now. But anyway, so you can see that Jake was a little nervous. When they get in, he drinks the green drink. I don't know what drink they were drinking that was green. Y'all know what it was? Did they tell us? Let us know down below in the comments. Listen, because I don't know what they were drinking that was green. The Incredible Hulk is blue. So, at least I think it's blue. Oh no, that's an Adios. That's blue. So maybe they were drinking an Incredible Hulk, because that would be green. Why am I talking about that? Because, yeah. So Haley's friend asks him about his reasoning for being on the show, and how he likes Haley or something to that effect. And she goes on to tell, you know, he goes on to share that those relationships prior were special disasters. And she said, well, not all of them. Maybe the special disaster is you're the common denominator pretty much. And I thought, I don't know if that was her place to say, right? Like, you don't know him well enough. Haley could have said it. One of his friends could have said it. But it is true. If the common denominator is you, then you are probably most likely the problem, right? It's a thing, but I just feel like it wasn't her place to say that. She should have just said, oh, okay. I don't know, y'all. Let me know down below in the comments, because y'all was probably okay with what she said. And it was fine. Haley was uncomfortable a little bit by some of his antics and the things that he was saying during the conversation. But I like that Jacob takes Haley's friend Lauren and the other chick, don't know what her name is, to the kitchen and have a conversation. What I realize is that her friend probably talks too much, and then this is the point that I feel like she overshared. Like, don't throw me under the bus, sis. You my people. Like, saying that I am commitment phobia-ish is not okay. Commitment phobia-ish is not okay, right? To share with my potential partner. You see, Lauren was over there silent as, like, you know, and I was like, What she could have said was, she hasn't been in a relationship in a long time, and it's probably important that you understand that and hear that and be present, you know, and make her feel comfortable. Don't be putting my flaws out. Let it feel like, don't be throwing that up like you talk too much. And then when she added that she's a runner, I was like, I mean, I guess it's good for him to know, but it's also important that you just, I don't know. I don't know, y'all. I don't know, maybe she didn't do anything wrong by sharing it, giving him insight ahead of time. I don't know, maybe I just feel like the delivery was wrong. I mean, we all could ascertain that she's a runner and that she has commitment issues, but I guess it's okay. I guess it's okay. I guess it's not, he wasn't offended, so why am I? Why is it a big deal to me? It's not. So Haley is sitting with Jake's friends, and they ask, you know, about commonalities. Do you have, what do you have in common right now with Jake? Man, we love dogs. Period. The end. Nothing else. She goes on to ask, you know, is there anything that you would share, any advice you would give? And his friend said, be a straight shooter, be direct, because going around an issue, Jake is gonna miss it. Giving hidden sudden clues, Jake is gonna miss it. And I'm gonna be honest with you ladies, most men are going to miss any innuendos and clues and hints that we give. We have to learn to be a lot more straightforward with what we want, except for if you have somebody like Vincent, who prefers you to go all around the mulberry bush. I don't know, just I feel like you can share whatever you want in love and in kindness. You can say what you mean and mean what you say. You don't have to be disrespectful or rude. So I feel like men appreciate you being direct, not disrespectful or rude. If y'all with me on that. So Jake cleans up after the party, you know, compliments Haley on her white pants, like, oh, those white pants are nice. I didn't say you look good in the white pants, but those white jeans are nice. He's doing the things that we want in a relationship. I want you to help me, you know, straighten up around the house, and I want to be desired. I want you to tell me that I look nice, and I think that he's making an effort to make her feel comfortable. So she goes to drink a beer. He says, you want to sit with me? Let's sit and talk. And it's just awkward. Like, they still have like an uncomfortable silence or something in the way that they communicate that they have to work on so that it flows. Like, he doesn't know what to say. He's kind of quirky, kind of dry wit. You know, I find some of the stuff he says funny, but again, I was born in 76. And so, you know, and Haley is, you know, like not understanding some of the things or his perspective. So it's going to be a hard sell, the two of them together. But I'm going to give her credit for showing some interest and asking about, you know, his watch and if he likes boating. And, you know, they find out that that's something else that they have in common, that they both like to boat and they like water and, you know, the ocean and lakes and stuff. So I think that Jake needs to play up on that, play up on what you know that she likes. She likes Sophie. She likes boats, right? Sophie, her dog. We see Chloe is calm, but you don't see Sophie nowhere around. So that's a thing. Let's go to the next couple, shall we? Let's talk Virginia and Eric. Virginia is in Savannah at a friend's wedding. She is a bridesmaid. She will be gone for a few days. I do believe he said the reason he didn't go is because somebody he knows is getting married the same day as well. But she has two dogs. He's walking and runs into Ryan. And they have just a little bit of a conversation about how things are going in their relationships. Eric goes back to what he knows about relationships because he did it before, blah, blah, blah. And every time he says that, I say to myself, but your first marriage was not successful. So what did you learn, right, that is going to make this relationship successful and last longer than your first one? He also mentioned that, like, Virginia gets annoyed. So if she's working and he comes up and hugs her or kisses her or whatever, she gets annoyed. So my question is, how often are you doing it? Because if she's getting annoyed, maybe she feels smothered. And again, we have to think about she's coming from being by herself for all those years, now to being married, occupying space with someone else in the house. So with that being said, they both need to be a little more gentler, a little more kinder. He wants to smother her. He really likes her, is really smitten, is going to be the first person to say, I love you. But she also has to understand that there's someone else there, right? There's someone else around, and I do need to be mindful, and I do need to have some nurturing to this relationship. And if it is him coming up behind me and kissing me on my neck, child, so be it. Because what's gonna happen is you're gonna miss it. You're gonna be singing like Erykah Badu. I be singing it all the time. I want somebody to walk up behind me and kiss me on my neck and breathe on my neck. Listen, I love that song, and it's true. She better go ahead and just enjoy, be in the moment. And then the things that you don't like or you want less of, try and articulate that in a way that is not threatening to the relationship in Eric's eyes. I don't know, y'all. Let me know down below if I'm overreacting. So then a little later, Eric meets with his friend Brandon, and Brandon too knows Eric very well, and like Lauren, makes it plain and simple. Like, they're talking and he says, you know, there's some differences and it's our age, and she likes to party and she likes to drink. We find out that he actually has issues, though, you know, we heard it, there were innuendos of it, right? But now he's plainly saying, I see it to be a problem, and she doesn't want to like share her whereabouts, etc. You know, and I'm gonna want her to cool that down. I'm hoping that it subsides a little bit. And pretty much what his friend said was, listen, allow Virginia some room to be free and independent. Don't try to control her or put your ideas on her. Allow her some autonomy. I'm with that. Like, I know, like, I still feel like Virginia is not ready to be married, okay? I'm gonna just keep it a band. She's ready to have a committed relationship with a boyfriend. Sort of like what Eric said to Pastor Cal last week. It's more of a boyfriend-girlfriend thing. I think that that's where she should have started, not right into a marriage. Because she does still want all that autonomy, right? And for me, I feel like Eric should express his concerns, his issues, the things that he likes, right? But also allow her the space to hang herself. Because if I don't want to be in this, I'm going to do things that are going to be detrimental. I'm not going to hear what you're saying. None of it is going to be of importance to me. So it's going to end up severing the relationship. You understand? Allow somebody enough rope to hang themselves. I'm going to express my feelings. I'm going to tell you what my boundaries are, what my expectations are. I am also going to be self-aware of my behavior and accountable for what I do and the things that you don't like. But if I allow you the space you need, if you're into this and you really want this, you're going to not change, but adjust, kind of compromise. I'm going to stop talking now because this is why our videos be like an hour long. But y'all heard what I said, and I meant that. You have to allow people space to grow on their own, or to discover that this isn't what they want, or that it is. You cannot control or direct or try and put your deflect. You cannot, project. Y'all, it's a rough day. You cannot project how you feel and what you want someone else to do and think on them, right? Okay, let's just keep going. So Virginia comes back from her weekend trip. They both felt the trip went really well. However, he was like, I don't think, she was like, you wanted me to, talk and whatever all the time, or chat and keep up all the time was a bit much. He's saying it wasn't that often. It was it was about every hour, every 2 hours. Bruh, that's a lot when I'm hanging out and I'm with my people. You know what I'm saying? It's a wedding, it's a bachelorette party, it's all these things, and you want to talk every hour, every other hour. That's a lot. That's a lot. It's too much. It's smothering, and that's why she's like, get off of me. I'm annoyed because it's too much. You got to pull up a little bit, And, she said it wasn't too bad, but I think that was just for him. So it's time for the housewarming, and here we go. I don't like the setup. I get that it's from Wingstop and wherever else, but why are we serving the stuff out of the Wingstop box? Like, it's a party. Put it in a nice little Pyrex dish. If you don't have anything like Hostess dish, put it on a plate. You know what I'm saying? You can make it look nice and inviting, but I guess because it was all fellas, it didn't matter because Virginia's two guy friends, Cole and Lane, showed up. And here's the thing. Virginia was nervous about them meeting him because of Eric's insecurities and thought process on men and women being able to be friends, that men normally want more than what we think that they do. You know what I took note of? That when Eric told her, I got everything taken care of for the party. She was like, did you get the beer most importantly? I thought, oh yeah, she definitely is gonna need rehab. She's definitely ruining her liver and her kidneys right now. Like, definitely. So as Virginia is entertaining the fellas, she talks about her shot theory. She tries to get her friends to have 3 shots with her every time they go out, but sometimes they don't, and what ends up happening is she ends up taking shots all night by herself. Because, the one friend, he was like, yeah, no, I don't want no shots. I don't do no good. I don't do good with no shots. And if you paid attention to how he in particular looked at her, even her friends were like, yeah, she's a big drinker. Like, you could see it in their faces. I don't know. I may have to go back and rewind it and watch it again, but I'm absolutely sure that they all had the face of, well, Eric's people was like, and the friends was like, like, that's who she is. Eric's friend mentions that, he's an introvert. She's an extrovert, probably the most super extrovert that he had ever met in all his life. And that it'll be great balance. I don't know, it might be a bit much, okay? Introverts tend to want to be introverts. Don't pull me out of this. I'm gonna do it for a little while and I want to go home. I'm gonna go sit in the corner kind of thing. This is too much. Now I got to recharge. Extroverts are just, I'm in your face. I'm in your face. Hello, 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 hi. It can be a lot. We see Cole pull Eric outside to have a conversation, and I'm all like, So he shares with him that it's the 5 people. Lane, Cole, somebody, and Virginia. He comes straight off the hip. It's, just the, 1 sentence, 2 words of small talk and go straight to it. Listen, don't come off as controlling, because Virginia's not going to handle that very well. And it's almost like she has been having conversations with her friends about how controlling he is. He also says that he feels like that this is something that Virginia wants, right? I guess somehow Eric must have conveyed that he was nervous about if this is what, with the age difference, etc., if this is something that she would want. And the friend reassured him that yes, this is something that she wants, that she's been wanting, that she's been saying she'd want. What Virginia wants is a boyfriend. She does not want a marriage, because that whole 5 friends hanging out every week, it can't happen. It's not gonna be healthy for their relationship, especially if your husband is not a hanger-outer too. Hanger-outer, is that a thing? It is. All right. Let's talk about Brianna and Vincent. Bree and Vince. Yes? So it's the next morning after the little tiff that they had, the argument, the disagreement that they had the night before. And he's there and he's in the bed. And you can see that he is still upset. But he came back home. He went out to the parking lot and was like, I shouldn't be leaving. So we need to give him a round of applause, because he had the good sense God gave him, knowing that he should not have left. And he came and brought his ass back on in that house, okay, where his wife was. Let's not draw too big of a wedge. Let's just, let me just cool off a little bit. Cool off, and come on back in. So she said, can we do, how you feeling? Do you want to talk about it? Are you better, feeling better? Nope. He was still searing, very much so. I don't know, somebody said that he lacked emotional maturity, and I'm starting to kind of agree. I'm starting to feel like he is, because emotional maturity comes with being able to speak and tell the truth and how you feel, without being upset and storming off, right? Anyway, so Brianna said she was genuinely confused. It was not her intent to be disrespectful. He's over there, okay. Oh, and the okays were quick and sharp, which said like, fuck you, I don't care about this. Okay, like, it's whatever. I still feel disrespected. Like, he's not receptive to what she's saying, right? Y'all want her to be receptive and acknowledge what he says, but he has to do the same thing for her. I'ma just say that. Like, I'ma just say that, and I'm gonna leave it there, period. Anyway, she said she was genuinely confused, because when the bottle popped, they were both laughing. And so when she said, oh, it's, typical Vinny or whatever, she was, joking. And just, it was no ill intention behind it, right? And that they don't know each other very well, and we're learning each other, and that we can move forward. We should be able to move forward. So they move forward, right? In the confessional, Vince is like, hey, yo, listen, I shouldn't have to tell somebody every time they do something to me. That's rude. Okay, sir. Maybe not every time, but you do have to articulate what rude is to you. Like I said, it is part of her personality. It is who she is, so she doesn't feel like she's being rude. Y'all can disagree with me all you want down below in the comments. I'm here for it. But what I am going to say I'm not here for, him not being able to articulate what it is. And no, you don't have to tell her all the time, but remember, you ain't been together before a little while, and so it's important that you point out things that are uncomfortable, that feel disrespectful. Otherwise, she's going to continue to do it. It is going to be a constant perpetuation of this scenario that you just had. You're going to keep saying you were being disrespectful. She's going to be like, how? I'm confused. Explain to her what disrespectful looks like to you, right? That's important in a relationship. You've got boundaries, and your boundary is you don't want to be disrespected. Tell me how I am being disrespectful. In my words, in my tone, like, okay, your smart ass comments. It's not necessarily the comments, but it's the tone that you use. Maybe it's the inappropriate timing. Maybe it's because you didn't follow it up with helping, is what he says later. But all of those things have to be communicated to Brianna in order for it to be successful. And I don't care what y'all say, I commend her for even opening up the conversation, because he could potentially break her all the way down with all the stuff that he doesn't like, and she has to receive it. She did say that when you said, I'm gonna go home, you know, she was taken aback. Well, where is home? Because home is with me now. Wherever I am is home. That's just how it works. Now, I'm not going off the cliff with you, but that's how it works. She was like, you know what? We got a whole nother room. Go to the other room and decompress. Go to the other room and be mad. Go to the other room and take a nap. But don't leave the house. I mean, I'm sure all of us agree with that. If we don't, if you can't stay in the room and take a pause, moving and finding somewhere else to go to take a breather is a viable option, but not outside the house. Okay, so the friends are winning. What about your friends? Are they gonna stay around? Are they gonna down, baby? Like, Jalen is one of them friends. Like, how many of us have them? Friends. He's got good friends. The ones we can depend on. Let's be friends. Let us be friends. And tell your friends to come be my friend. Anyway, the friend asks him about, Jalen is his friend's name, asks him how are things going with the cultural differences. The cultural differences. I think this is the nail on the head. He hit the nail on the head. I think it's something that I totally did not remember or point out, and that, or maybe I did, like, slightly. Nevertheless, Vincent says, I think our cultural differences are showing up in the way we communicate. And he goes on to explain what happened, and the friend is kind of laughing at him like, is this a joke? The friend finds it hilarious that you are upset, you got upset over the words that she used in communicating about the champagne. Now, I don't know if he shared that it was, you know, compounded and it became a ticking time bomb, right? I don't know if he shared that, but what his friend shared was valuable information. Get out of your head, Vincent. Whatever you think that she has going on when she's talking to you, remove that, right? Don't make the assumption that that's what it is, because it may not be what it is. That's your own shit that you have to deal with. Like, I like that he said to him, remove all that. Take what she's saying at face value. If you feel like it's being disrespectful or she is crossing the line, I think the best thing to do is to ask or to say, what did you mean by that? That's a free tip for y'all. When you're uncomfortable, if it's a place and you don't know if somebody's being serious or how to take something somebody says, the best thing you could say is, what did you mean by that? What did you mean by that? I interpreted what you said to mean this. Is that right? That gives the person the opportunity to clarify and to provide ease and comfort, or tell you that that's what the fuck I meant, yo. Like, I meant to be disrespectful. That's what I said. So when I got married, one of the things during counseling that the pastor said that still I hold true today, even in like sessions when I have like couples or even a single person and they're married or whatever, I say, see with the other one's eyes, hear with the other one's ears, feel with the other one's heart. That way you can see things from their viewpoint. Remove what you think out of it and try and see things from someone else's point of view. It's probably why I'm so damn rational and I can see both sides of the coin like I do. I'm going to toot my own horn. Toot toot. So they have a housewarming. We get to see Vincent's mother and brother, who were not able to come to the wedding previously, and it's probably because maybe they had coronas. Maybe they had coronas, because I was like, why weren't they there? That could be a strong possibility. Or that they were, you know, I don't know. But the mom's primary language is Spanish, and I think that they did really well. The mom seemed to have liked Brianna. They liked her tacos that she had cooked. They played like a get to know me, get to know us, cute little game. Let me see, like a fun facts game. Yep. I also wrote down she's gonna know Spanish soon. He's talking to her in Spanish, and listen, that just does something to my spirit. I want to learn Spanish. I'm gonna have to learn Spanish. Not because I want a man of Latin descent, but California, Los Angeles in particular, is full of people that are Latin. And sometimes if you can't communicate, you up shit creek. All right, let's talk about it. Let's talk about it, shall we? Let's talk about Chris and Paige. Chris definitely lacks emotional maturity. He lacks maturity, period. He lacks the ability to communicate, and he wants everyone to be on his page and to agree with him. We see him with Pastor Dwight and Michael, okay? And he says, I need to meet with them. I value their opinions, or whatever he says. I don't know how they're going to react. And he tells them about the divorce. Tells them actually about the whole scenario of, I wasn't attracted to her from walking down the aisle. I had sex with her hoping that it would build the connection. Still wasn't attracted. Then I find out I have a baby on the way, and it's best that I'm gonna get a divorce so I can help raise my child. Honey, let me tell you something. Dr. Dwight, maybe he's gonna be a doctor soon. Pastor Dwight was not here for it at all. He did not mince any words. I don't care what y'all say about how he look or what he got going on or any of that. What I do know is that he got him together, to the point where Chris didn't want to hear it, where Chris was disrespectful and looking at his phone and looking up in the air like a kid child. Anyway, he said while he was sharing the story, you can see the disappointment and the shock on their faces as they were talking, because before he even started, Michael said, oh, I wonder what the news is. Oh, they probably having twins. He wasn't talking about Mercedes, y'all, okay? Because after that is when he went in to tell them about he was getting a divorce from Paige. Dwight came right forward and said, you know what, bro? You know what, bruh? Yo, listen. What you need to learn is commitment. How to make a commitment and to be committed to something. Okay, and it's valid, because he's not committed to Paige, and he was only with the other girl for 3 months. So he has some kind of commitment issues for whatever reason. He tells him, you made a covenant till death do you part. Your wife trumps you with the new baby, your pre-relationship and her expectancy of a baby. And you can still parent and be present in that child's life and be married to Paige. Like, he got him all the way together. Something that we all know to be true. The moment he realized the pastor did not just like say, I understand and I fall in line with what you're saying, he kind of jumps to the defensive. And it was like, you don't understand. Oh, no, we hear you. We know what you're saying. And, Dwight is like, I think it was premature. That the divorce is a premature move. And an embarrassment and immature. Now, I can't remember if he said that in a confessional or if he said that directly to Chris. But whatever it was spot on. Okay? You should be embarrassed of your behavior. It was premature, especially if this woman is gonna stick in it with her dumb ass. I didn't mean that. Especially if the woman is going to stick by your side while you go through these things, and that you lack the emotional maturity to be able to make sound, wise decisions. Michael begins to share and says how Paige is a diamond. Okay, that you are missing it. That she has family, faith, financially focused, the 3 F's, right? And that he thought that the marriage was good for him, that Paige is good for him. See, because he's seen with his eyes and he's not attracted to her visually, that he's missing what type of character she has, her ethics, her morals, her values. But I don't understand why he wouldn't be attracted to Paige with his funny looking self. Like, I don't understand it. I'm sure he does not always get the bad bitches, the baddies, the goddesses. I'm sure the modelesque, because we're all goddesses, excuse me, okay? The modelesque looking women or whatever, the societal norms of standards of beauty or whatever. You know what I'm saying? Like, whatever, okay? Listen, I just said a bunch of stuff. Y'all know I think Paige is never. And at this point is when Chris becomes very dismissive, really disrespectful, kind of detached from the conversation, and he's looking at his phone while, you know, Pastor D is providing his opinion. It's very much so indicative of how he's treated Paige the entire time. You don't go along with me, then you forget it. Pastor Dwight says to him, listen, consider the people that are involved, like the emotions, the time invested, you know. And he was like, and apologize for the damage that you've caused. So, you know, he's all like, I did or whatever. And I wrote down a note and said, you know what? Chris may not have asked for their opinions. He just wanted them to share, and that's what wanted to share the information and did not want their opinions. But listen, you gonna get this young, well thought out opinion. You gonna get this grown man thought process on what you're doing. You're gonna hear what you don't want to hear, Chris, with your silly self. Like, you are closed off and you need some emotional healing. You have had some trauma that has caused you to be this person, or something about you makes you think that you are God's gift to women. They have ruined you, your family. Chris says, I'm done with this conversation. I'm over it. I'm done listening. No disrespect. That's what he said. No disrespect intended, but I'm done with this conversation. Oh no, that's all kinds of disrespectful. And it's very cowardice of you not to be able to stand in your decision and hear what people have to say. Like, you make a decision and you say, I'm going to divorce this girl, and these are the reasons A, B, C through X, Y, and Z is why I'm going to do this. When people start to provide their opinions of what you're going to do, you get to say, I appreciate it. I value your opinion. Thank you for sharing, but I'm going to stick with what the fuck I want to do. Like, that is what grown-ups do and say. Now, you might later on consider what someone said, but if you don't dismiss them because they're sharing, you say, oh, thank you. Yeah, no, I don't agree. I'm not going to do that. No, it's not for me. Like, what are we talking about? So then a little later, we see Paige, and we see that Chris has called her, and he's calling her and says to her, he wants to meet with her and the ex-fiance to kind of clear the air. What air needs to be clear? Okay? It was foggy before for her. It was hazy before for her. You know what I'm saying? She couldn't see the forest for the trees, but now that you want a divorce, there's no air to clear. What do we need? The smog. I can see through it. There's nothing. That's for me. Like, I don't know what air are we clearing. It's purified, okay? She tells him, I'm going to pray on it and I'm going to let you know. Girl, you ain't got nothing to pray on. What is it that, what more, how much more clarity do you require is the question. You hear them, real heavy, because that's what I mean. Anyway, I mean, sometimes you need closure. The closure, though, was the divorce. The closure was, I'm not attracted to you. The closure is, you have a baby on the way. The closure for me. So she decides that she's going to meet with Chris and Mercedes. And it's because she's giving him too much power and she needs to take it back. All right, girl, take your power back then. Reclaim your time. You can never reclaim the time you just lost. You can reclaim your power, though, okay? I'm gonna ask you this right now before we get into it. Did she actually reclaim her power? So when they get there, Paige has on a pair of blue jeans and a cute little black like t-shirt and a little necklace. Very simple, honey. Chris comes in with a black slacks and a white shirt and the royal blue jacket, and Mercedes comes in with an animal print cute little strap, spaghetti strap dress. Okay, when she comes in, she sits down and she's holding her stomach as she sits down. And what is she, 7 weeks, right? Like, Girl, stop with the theatrics. Stop with the theatrics. I also wrote down, oh, she's cute. I mean, we said that before. She's cute. She's attractive. But she ain't no baddie. You know what I'm saying? But she is definitely a beautiful girl. Her makeup is not the right color for her skin tone, but she's a beautiful girl. Hands down, beautiful. Okay? As is Paige. But I'm just making an observation. He don't like Paige because, you know, not the norm. I'm all like, not what he used to. I'm all like, Mercedes is attractive. Average is best. She's not like what y'all called her, what y'all call that he like an Instagram baddie. He ain't even getting that, but she's attractive. Okay, because I can't take that away from her. She is beautiful, but she ain't like a baddie. But I don't know. What I consider a baddie is something different. I'm gonna have to think about who's a baddie as an example. And for me, a baddie isn't necessarily the way you look or the way you dress, right? For me, a baddie is what your spirit embodies. But she did really well. Okay, I'm getting beside myself. I wrote down, oh, look at that. They came collectively as a unit. Though she came in before him, it was only a hot 60 to 120 seconds before. They came together collectively as a unit. She sat closest to Paige. I'm not certain. In looking at Paige when Mercedes walked in, you saw like her facial expression kind of changes. You know what I mean? Did y'all see that? Like it went from being, you know, smiling and very pleasant to very like aha, very stoic. Like it was an aha, like kind of once over. Y'all let me know if y'all saw that. She says, oh, y'all look jazzy. I wouldn't have gave them no kind of compliments. Hello. Still some kind of like smirk on my face. Then there's this like awkward silence. Like, okay, Chris, you brought us together. I think that you should begin the conversation, but that's not what happened because you are not an alpha man like you want to be. Mercedes start talking first and she says, listen, I don't have any ill feelings towards you. Mercedes starts talking first and she says, I don't have any ill feelings towards you at all. And I'm thinking, why would you? You didn't know me. I don't know you. You should not have any ill feelings towards me because I didn't even know you existed. Like, this man signed up for Married at First Sight. So all your ill willings and feelings, of course, should be towards Chris. Hello. Let me see. She also says that she is confused. Like this whole... She also said that she didn't know that he had gotten married, that he had found out on the day she called that he went to Married at First Sight and got married. So he hadn't even communicated it to her that that's what he was doing. Coward. So she said, I'm confused to say the least. All of this is new information to me. Like in a week's time, you know, all of this is new. So Chris, he wants to finally say something. I brought y'all together not for drama, but for clarity. Who needs clarity? It's clear. It's clear. What part I don't know. I don't know. Maybe it's me that has a clear view of what's happening and has had a clear view of what's happening since the time that they had walked down the aisle. Somebody, anybody. Am I missing what needs to be cleared up? Y'all let me know down below in the comments what clarity that he was wanting to provide. So when Paige begins to talk, you know, the one thing she is very much so gracious, right? She's very much so gracious because she said, you know, I don't know what this man is thinking. I'm not a man. I'm not him. He's got to be feeling something. You know, she's being very amiable, very amicable about how she's approaching the situation. You know, then she goes on to say, I was like, oh, she being funny. She goes on to say, like, you know, at one point, this was my fear too. My fear was being pregnant. Because, of course, they're having unprotected sex. As she's saying it for, of course, shock value, of course. Like, I'm just finna let it all out to let it be known that we fucking raw. We was fucking raw, okay? Raw dog, okay? Let that be known, even though I'm not pregnant. That's all that was. That's all that was, you know? She looking shocked. Mercedes like, what? Like, oh, you didn't share that. Like, oh, this nigga is something else. Did you know? Were you aware? He was like, no, you should have been aware. You should have been sharing that I was raw dogging her. Every day I was married to her. 2-3 times a day, as long as she was giving it to me. Mercedes says, you know what? This is embarrassing. You know, we were together. We break up. I'm pregnant. He's married. Like, it's an embarrassment. I'm glad you know it's embarrassing, girl. I'm glad that you know that it is embarrassing. And I did like her dress. I didn't tell y'all that, but I did like her dress. If I didn't have these arms that I have, I would buy me one of them dresses. So Paige goes on to continue, and she says that her intentions were pure when she joined Married at First Sight. Chris says, my intentions were pure too. She's all like, no, sir. Like, this is the most that she has been standing up for herself the entire season thus far. Because if your intentions were pure, you would not have said that you were still in love, you know, with someone after you done signed, sealed, delivered. I'm yours after you done said you was gone. You know what I'm saying? You would not be in here telling me that you still had feelings for her and she got feelings for you. So your intentions weren't pure. I said, if she didn't call that, I'm glad that she got to gather her thoughts together and really look in hindsight at what had really been going on and what she had been dealing with. Because she also shared, you know, that I was in it for the long haul, that I was okay with being a bonus parent because a baby is a blessing. Like, she came through with the things that she said and was very much so poised. So I think the thing though that was the nail in the coffin was when Mercedes had said, well, we ain't working nothing out at this time. Currently, in this moment, I'm not trying to work out anything with him. So we know that they are doing whatever because they were in Mexico, seen in Mexico together. But the fact of the matter is, at the time, maybe they weren't working things out. Currently, we're not working anything out. And then again, that could have been for Mercedes to save face, honey. I'm out here looking stupid, been telling my friend, you know what I'm saying? We were engaged and we just broke up a couple months ago and I'm figuring we gonna get back together now that I'm pregnant. Oh no, I'm embarrassed. You got me out here looking foolish. So I ain't finna be saying I'm gonna work things out. Like, the one thing she ain't is Paige. She ain't saying, yeah, well, you know, I want the father of my child to be in his, you know, none of that. She's like, I'm embarrassed and nah. He a fool, okay? At the time, like I said, it could be to save face. Chris is visibly uncomfortable this entire time, like a kid being reprimanded by his parents. And Paige says, this relationship no longer serves me. I'm in a good space. You know, I have some inner peace. I'm at peace. So I can move forward. Well, it's about damn time that you can move forward from the relationship that served you no purpose from day one. He's sitting there looking at the sky and Mercedes like, you don't have anything to say? He was like, no, I'm annoyed. I'm irritated. She says, you're always irritated. Everything irritates you. Because he's a kid and does not process things very well. So Chris decides to speak up and says, you know what, I don't want to play games with you and your feelings or hers. You know, I respect you and that's why, you know. And I can appreciate that. Thanks, Chris, I can appreciate that. At one point too, when she was talking, he was like, you can address me. No, but I'm talking to her. If I was talking to you, if we were having a dialogue, then I would be. I can't remember at what point that was, but yeah, I was like, he's such a kid who is having a tantrum kind of because he's not getting his way. Maybe he thought he was gonna be able to keep both of them. That he was going, I mean, that happens in people's lives. There are things as, you know, triads and whatnot. So I mean, maybe that was his thought process. But both of these women are God-fearing, have Christian values and belief systems. So I don't know if they would have went along with his shenanigans if that was what his plan was. Nevertheless, he says that the conversation isn't going the way that he planned. Somebody tell me, how is a conversation supposed to go? I think I had just said it and didn't even realize that that's what was coming next. He thought that he would probably be able to keep both of them, to ping pong both of them or something. I don't know, because he likes Mercedes aesthetically, but likes Paige's goodies, her goodness and mercy and all of that. He likes all of her goodness, okay? So I mean, it's a thing. When he says that the conversation isn't going the way he intended, he starts doing some old psychobabble about, I can't wait till this is over to go eat dinner and watch the game. And I don't know what babbling brook he came from, but he needs to go back. He was definitely being rude. And Mercedes is telling him to be respectful. Like, you a grown-ass man who claims to not like to be disrespected, but is being very disrespectful in this moment. You cannot expect something from someone that you are not willing to give. You know, and he said at one point, he told her, I've been very respectful of you and honest with you the entire time. And I don't know how much of that I can agree with. He has been very honest with her. I'm going to say that. He has been very honest with her. But he also needs to now, it's time for him to learn how to take into account other people. Right? How to talk to other people. Yes, it is a truth. But what are you trying to say? Is this the right way to say it? Am I delivering it correctly? Is the timing right? Like all of these things. How am I, you know, and when I'm talking to you, Chris, when he talks about, you know, the being pregnant and talk about how he's still in love with her and she's still in love with him. When he starts talking about that, I just had a thought. When he starts talking about that, it's not in a way that is warm and or a safe and secure place where we can have a dialogue. The girls definitely hug, and then they get up, they hug, because he walks out. They get up, they hug, they go their separate ways. Now check this out. There is a part that I forgot to say. When he talked about, when Mercedes said, oh, there's no chance of me getting back right now, right? That's not in my future with him. I thought to myself, Mercedes said, so why would, well, if you're not working things out with her, well, what are you doing? Why would you want a divorce? Because he doesn't want to be with her. Like I said, had Mercedes been what Chris was physically attracted to, visually, aesthetically pleasing to him, he would have stayed with her. Okay? This was his out because he was not attracted to her at all. Not the way she looked, not her spiritual maturity, her emotional maturity, her ride or die, go off the cliff behavior. He was not attracted to her at all, and this was his out. Y'all let me know what you think about this episode down below in the comments. We already know Paige and Chris, they're out. Only couple I see making it right now still is Brianna and Vincent. Clara wants Ryan. Ryan is not sure what he wants. He's still, you know, watching from a 50,000 foot view. Like, oh, let me see. You know what I'm saying? Eric and Virginia. And then you have, who else is left? Ryan, Clara, Haley, and Jacob. No. Okay, that's all. That is all. I am your girl, Talisa Ray. Thank you so much for watching my review of Married at First Sight, season number 12, episode number 8. Listen, if it's your first time visiting my channel, you definitely should be clicking the subscribe button to become a ray of sunshine. And that notification bell is there for all of us. Click it and click all so that when I do go live about this episode, you're notified. That you're not like, I missed the notifications. It didn't tell me you were up. Okay? Okay? Yes, maybe Monday. I don't know. I think other reviewers go Monday, and I know a lot of you watch all of us, so I try to be mindful of when other people are going live so that we don't compete for views and subs, right? I said, oh, click the like button because you like me and I know it's real. Share it so that your friends know that I'm great, as well as YouTube will know that I'm great. Last but not least, I love you in real life and want every good thing that God has in store for you, even if you don't know what that is for yourself. Hugs and kisses and lots of love. I'll catch you on the next review.